Hey guys, and welcome to Dino and Nick's Homestead. Gonna do a little video this morning. You see our sign right here. This is something that we put up so that we know when there's chickens in the garden, so we don't leave the gate open here. However, it's not a chicken we have in here. It's a duckling that Nicole rescued, and she's not quite gotten used to being here yet. We're keeping her in here for protection. A little cage that we had that we put her in at night until she gets used to being around the place. And she kind of hangs out around here. And my friends, that is what you call an ugly duckling. Yeah, she's not quite used to us here. But that's not what I wanted to talk to you about today. Just a side note, we do have lots of peppers growing here. Peppers are doing well because you can see we put up shade cloth that's a 40% shade. But we have down here is a garden bed where I put just loads of grass in the bed here. Put cardboard on top of it. You can see the cardboard here that I pulled off. And it's rotted down the grass pretty well. And I'm gonna have to plant something. I got some tomatoes here that on a whim, I started the seeds. These are a determinate tomato. They're only gonna grow to about 2 feet, put out their fruit, and then they'll be completed. And I was kind of interested in seeing what got under this grass. It usually attracts worms to help break down, so I was wanting to dig up here and see if we could find any down in here. You can see there, so you can see them moving around. There's lots of life in the soil that all mix up here. And we can use that to our advantage. Of course, worm castings for producing better soil. So I'll get my trowel out here, see what we've got under here. Grass is broken down quite well, just a couple of inches on top, and I just had a whole lot of grass in here when we started out. And I'm gonna have to plant these tomatoes, even though it's not season for tomatoes. It's actually too hot, but I'm gonna have to do something with them or else just let them perish. So we'll stir all this in. You can see some old tomato plants that we had in here. Now I know a lot of people like to let that rot in place, but I'm not one of them. I like to take them out. I'll break those down in the compost bin and circulate them right back into the soil. We'll stir this up like this. And what I'll do is I'll come in here, dig a nice hole. Now remember, with tomato plants, you can see the worms there. There's one right there. So we've got plenty of worms working down in here, producing castings, which is excellent fertilizer. So we've got a nice deep hole dug here, down in here for a tomato plant. And what we'll do is we'll come over here and grab us a small handful of some organic fertilizer. This is a slow release because it's organic, so it breaks down over time. It's not going to feed them right away, but as the dirt breaks it down, so I've got it stirred in here. As the dirt breaks it down, of course, it's going to feed the tomato plant. So here's our tomato plants here. You see some of them have 2 in a tray. I'm not able to break those to kill that tomato plant there. So what happens is I plant them both, and Nicole will come along later on and break one of them off because I just can't do it. Not after they struggle so hard to survive. Now you look, you see how far it is, how tall it is. With a tomato plant, we can cover all of that up. Nice piece of clay here, where it's a pain to deal with. It also has a lot of minerals in it, so we usually put up with it. And we'll put some dirt on this side here. Put some more dirt around it. A little bit more dirt around it. See how that clay's starting to break up over time? The worms break it down. The soil breaks it down. And then it makes excellent minerals for the tomato plants. Now you see how tall those tomato plants were before? Now they're just sticking out of the ground slightly. They'll produce roots all the way down here where you see the little fuzz. That's going to be a root. And that way you get a lot more nourishment in your soil than if you just try to plant it on top. That's still a little bit low. Let's put some more dirt around there. There you go. So we'll break down some more of this clay. Go put minerals in the soil. And then, of course, Nicole will come around and break one of them off. I'll plant the rest of these with the shade cloth that we have above. Hopefully it'll protect it from some of the heat of the sun. And maybe it'll be cooling down by the time these guys are ready to start producing flowers for us. So we'll let you know, see how good it is being on Nick's homestead.